Hello everyone, welcome to Indian Cultural Forum. Today we have with us Meena Menon, a renowned journalist and former deputy editor of The Hindu. We are going to talk to her about Bombay Riots, which she has extensively worked on, and also reporting from Pakistan. And we are also going to discuss with her about her new book, which is supposed to be released today. Hello Meena.
Hi.
Hi. So to begin our conversation, could you talk to us more about Bombay Riots? Why it's only certain incidents of violence, or it could be riots or massacres, that gets a place in the memories of people?
See, the Bombay riots took place 25 years ago. It's 25 years. And a lot of things have happened in the course of that period which have kind of eclipsed the memory of the riots in Bombay. So 10 years, we had, immediately after the riots, we had the bomb blasts, the first serial bomb blast. It was a major terrorist strike in Bombay in 12 places. So I think that was like something that stunned the city. I mean, which was barely recovering from 2 months of sustained violence. So after that, there were a series of bomb blasts in the city. Then we had the Godhra train burning. Then we had the huge riots in Gujarat post that. So I think the events of successive events have kind of blotted out some memories. But the fact is also how the state has responded to different kinds of violence, different kinds of for instance, communal riots. Yes, the state did institute an inquiry for the Bombay riots. Justice Sri Krishna did a fine job. But what happened to that report? But in '93, when the bomb blast happened, there was a designated court under the Terrorist and Disruptive Activities Prevention Act. There was a sustained attempt to, the police investigated, the CBI investigated. There was a special designated court to try the perpetrators of that bomb blast. There were no special courts for the riots till 2007, by which time there were 100 convictions in the terror strike, in one of the terrorists, the main one, that '93 one. 20 people were given the death sentence. And who was convicted for the riots? No one. So there's also a perception, your perception of justice, your perception of wrongdoing, it varies from the kind of violence. So the 2007, the state government agreed to special courts because of public pressure, which said that you can have a designated court systematically investigate and try a bomb blast, a serial bomb blast. But what happened to the huge, massive violence that happened in December '92 and January '93? Yeah. So then they shortlisted the cases, then they sent cases to fast-track courts. There were very few convictions, but there were convictions. But so many cases which the victims fought. It was the victims who went to court in one case asking for a first information report to be registered. Even that was not done. So the basic tenets of law were not followed. So I think all this serves to erase certain events in public memory. And even at that time, when I was researching for my book in 2006 and 7, there was a huge confusion of order. What came first? Many people thought the blasts had happened first.
Yeah.
And then it was all the rioting that happened later.
Yeah.
So there is huge confusion, and I think this confusion is brought about by several factors, as I said, and one of them is also your perception of what is wrong, what is wrongdoing,
Yeah.
and how the state responds to it.
Yeah. See, I mean, if people do care about what is happening in say, the courtroom. Say, I'll give you an example by what do I mean by this. Say, when the JNU incident was happening and there were hearings in the court, and Kanhaiya was attacked openly in the courtroom, and that came as a shock to all of us because it's a courtroom. You can go there directly and attack someone who is coming in there. But nevertheless, what people kept talking about JNU and what people are still talking about JNU is it is an anti-national campus, it is an anti-national element thing. So it seems like people talk about the thing that has happened, which, I mean, they don't really give a thing about what's happening in the courtroom and what is the law and order situation. So I personally think it's the government that is making use of this attitude to promote a certain idea of nationality and nationalism.
See, the concept of nationalism has undergone a lot of change, and historically it's been interpreted differently. But from the 1920s onwards, I feel it's also borne out by historians I've quoted in my book. There is a change in what is nationalism. So it's also defined by communal identities, by our history of communalism. And today what we are seeing is, I think, a culmination of all those various ideologies which have now fused together. So if you're nationalistic, it is identified not by something that's pan-Indian, but by something that's defined by what your religion is, what your identity stands for, what you think your national identity should be. So if JNU is being called anti-national, who is calling it anti-national? You have to, that's, where is it coming from? So today, is it nationalistic to defend a person who has murdered another person in public view? So what is nationalism today? And why are people, for instance, collecting money or putting up Facebook posts saying that they oppose punishment to the perpetrator of this heinous crime? Why are there protests in Rajasthan today, in defense of this man who clearly on camera has said that he has, you can see the whole thing. So this is the I would say the sad or the distressing part of this whole evolution of nationalism. So if you question something, you're anti-national. This post-truth has afflicted all of us. So we no longer believe in facts and truth. That's also because of the speed at which things are happening. So somebody puts up a Facebook post saying that I don't agree that this man who murdered the laborer in Rajasthan should be punished. So Facebook, social media today gives you impunity to post absolutely outrageous statements like this, which are clearly actionable, but nobody says anything, nobody does anything. So you wrap the alleged suspect in Mohammed Akhlaq's case in the national flag, and nobody is questioning that. Otherwise, people are very upset about how the national flag is treated. There's a law. There's a flag code which defines how and where the national flag should be used. So certain things upset certain people, certain things don't. And that is increasingly beginning to be the new nationalism.